Afrexim.
Yes.
I mean, you're supposed to be, in negotiations with them, or maybe it's far advanced. About what, $75 million that they're supposed to give to us. You want to, update us on that?
Well, I had two versions of this. One, I had NRA was raising 75 million.
Yes.
No, GRA initially. What I had in the first press conference was GRA.
Or maybe slip of the tongue.
Yeah, that was what I had.
Yeah, okay.
I was in there,
Yeah.
but I listened.
Yeah. But on this
it is
program,
NRA.
it was NRA. Yes,
it is
definitely.
NRA
Yeah.
that is doing. And again, this is not direct government borrowing. As we know.
And that seems to be where the difficulty is.
You see, I think people are, well, maybe partly the ministry need to communicate more.
Yeah.
But I do know that the central bank has been widely communicating since the launch of the capital market. The capital market has been launched, it's functional.
Yeah, we've spoken extensively about the capital market.
This transaction that they are talking is not even consummated yet. It's a work in progress, but it's not any government borrowing.
But it shows they have information.
Of course, but we are not hiding. Because once, Peter, this is a capital market transaction. Whatever is in the capital market, it has to be transparent. It has to have, every market participant should have access to equal information. So we cannot do a capital market transaction as a government and then assume that it should be privy to a limited circle. No. NRA has revenue sources through the fuel levy, which is, steady, and as such, it can raise revenue in the capital market that will allow it to continue its work. As such, there is no government, first of all, for government to borrow any funds, if it is an obligation on the government, the Minister of Finance is required, if it is a borrowing, to lay that before the National Assembly for ratification. So you cannot do any borrowing transaction under the wraps, as we are saying, oh, we are under disclosing our obligations. No. This is a capital market transaction, which is a work in progress, and is raised, a prospectus was developed, this was shared, and Africa Exim Bank is looking at the transaction, and they will invest based on the credit merit of the transaction. So if the 75 million is invested, it's going to be invested by Africa Exim Bank,
yes,
into the bonds issued by NRA based on the underlying revenue pool that NRA generates to service those over time. So this is the nature of the transaction. There is nothing that, there is no obligation.
So nothing's been closed out yet?
No, the transaction is a work in progress as we speak. And it's a capital market transaction, and capital market transaction must be very distinguished from private transactions, where it's between two parties. And government cannot go into any private transaction, because by very nature of government finances, everything must be in public domain. So to say that we are borrowing discreetly 75 million and not disclosing it, and we even hear that, oh, Senegal, misreport, all of these things we hear, it's not right. This is a work, and Africa Exim Bank is also a multilateral development bank. You see, there are certain things that are a given. If you deal with a private party, then you can put bad faith as one of your due diligence checklists, or, KYC, who to know. But when you deal with a multilateral institution of which you are a shareholder yourself, those are a forgiven. Those are
so
a
the
given.
Gambia is a shareholder in Afrexim Bank?
Oh, yes, certainly. Otherwise, they will not do transaction with us. So I think this must be very well understood, that if you deal with a multilateral, and all multilateral institutions, shareholder agreements have been ratified duly by the National Assembly. So there is no dealing you can have. And in fact, we invite every party to where this suspicion raised. If this transaction closes, the full detail will be available, because Afrexim is a publicly owned institution, it's a multilateral, and I don't see any benefit of making these transactions so hidden, as if, I heard that, they are doing this, then they are not telling the people. The transaction is a work in progress. it is a capital market transaction. Anybody can write to the Capital Market Authority of the Central Bank and ask for the details of the transaction. So, but of course, I think it is telling us we need to communicate more, and we will continue to do so, and hence we are here.